A mother of three found in her burning apartment in Daytona Beach had actually been stabbed 100 times. And making this crime even more heinous, Denja Moore's 10-month-old baby boy also died in the fire back on November 21st. The father of her two older children, Charles Ivy, now faces 2 counts of first-degree murder, arson, and attempted murder charges. An affidavit says Ivy admitted to being at Moore's apartment at the time that the fire would have started. And a woman who was with him when he was arrested told police that Ivy went to Moore's home to drop off money for her and that he'd gotten off work sometime before 11 p.m. That fire was reported the following hour. Photos from the Daytona Beach Fire Department show just how strongly that fire was burning. The affidavit says black smoke was billowing from the windows of the apartment and boxes with paper in them were found on the stove. The children that Ivy shared with Moore are just 4 and 5 years old, and those children are still in the hospital in critical condition. I'm Angenette Levy. It's Wednesday, and this is Crime Fix. How's this for an alibi? I was washing my hair. It sounds like a line out of an old TV show when somebody would turn down a date. But deputies in Cole County, Missouri, say a woman who murdered her stepdad used the line to explain where she was when her stepdad was murdered. An affidavit says Regina Redmond smelled like bleach when deputies interviewed her after finding her 80-year-old stepfather stabbed in a pool of blood. They also said he was cool to the touch, meaning that he had been dead for some time. The deputy said in an affidavit that Redmond told him that she was in the shower and actually heard 4 male voices in the house. The deputy also said Redmond was fully dressed and dry, but had dried globs of shampoo in her hair. Redmond is right now in the Cole County Jail. An 18-year-old man in Louisiana has been found guilty in the death of a grandmother who was killed during a horrific carjacking. John Honore was found guilty yesterday of second-degree murder for the death of Linda Fricky in March of last year. Honore was the leader of 4 teens who carjacked Fricky. He kicked and punched her. Fricky actually got tangled in her car seatbelt, which severed her arm as she was dragged down the road. Fricky's family spoke after the verdict.
I hope that where he's going, he feels every emotion that Linda felt. I hope he feels the fear that she had in her heart that day. I hope he feels the pain.
The 3 other teenagers pleaded guilty last week to attempted manslaughter. WLTV in New Orleans shared a letter Honore wrote to Fricky's family saying that he had made the biggest mistake of his life. Honore will be sentenced next month. The mother of a 2-year-old boy who accidentally shot himself in the face at a gas station is in jail facing several charges. Emma Hoover's son, King Muhammad, was in an SUV with her last month in Lansing, Michigan. A complaint says that Hoover told police she was scrolling on her phone and not paying attention when she heard an explosion. Little King had actually shot himself in the face. Surveillance photos show that Hoover's friend, Avis Coward, opened the door of the SUV after the gun was fired, and that gun fell to the ground. Now, Coward is not even allowed to have a gun because he is a 6-time convicted felon, and right now, he is facing a charge of being a felon in possession of a firearm. That's actually a federal charge. The SUV was found a week later in a field in Lansing, and look at it. It had been torched. Meanwhile, prosecutors say Hoover, she took off for Arizona after the shooting. She was on probation for a drug charge when that shooting happened. She appeared in court earlier this week.
Based on everything here, while you do have ties and you have somewhere that you can stay, I'm still concerned about your flight risk based on the allegations. I don't have any history that I'm aware of you failing to appear, but nevertheless, these are serious charges. So with that, I'm not going to grant you a PR bond. Are you a danger to the public? Obviously, this involves the loss of life, which certainly indicates to the court that there is some violence alleged. Not a conviction, certainly by any means, but you have the allegations.
The magistrate set Hoover's bail at $75,000 cash or surety, meaning that she can put up property. Avis Coward is being held without bail. Nearly 2 years after she was reported missing, a woman in Michigan's husband is now charged with murdering her. Deanne Warner was last seen in April of 2021. Her family has been insistent ever since that her husband, Dale Warner, killed her. Dale Warner has now been arrested and entered not guilty pleas to the charges of murder and tampering with evidence. Dale and Dee co-owned a Michigan-based trucking company. Her children claim that Dale has been using his power of attorney to take out loans in Dee's name. Police have searched the huge property she owned in Franklin Township, but her body has never been found. A judge agreed to lower Dale Warner's bond from $20 million to $10 million. He's expected in court again next week. Another family member accused of killing their loved one. Authorities are accusing a 26-year-old Massachusetts man of using a ghost gun he bought off the internet to kill his father. Ghost guns are weapons that can be built at home, and they don't have a serial number and are untraceable. According to prosecutors, Robert Gomez III shot Robert Grimes Jr. outside their home after the elder asked his son to open a shed so he could take a photo of a power washer that was inside. Gomez says the third claims his father was angry about the power washer and told his son, "I'm going to kill you." So the son shot him first. He's now being held without bail, pleading not guilty to charges including murder, assault and battery, and possession of a firearm without an FID card. He'll be back in court just before Christmas. A mom in Florida says she was actually trying to break up a fight when she accidentally hit her own son with her SUV. Quantavia Samuel is charged with aggravated assault and battery with a deadly weapon. Miami police say on Monday, Samuel told her son to go get a backpack his little brother had left at school. While he was running the errand, the child reportedly got into a fight with at least 2 other boys. Police say he called his mom and told her he was being jumped and said one of the boys might have a gun. Samuel told police she was trying to break up the fight with her car and ended up hitting her son. The 2 kids ran away and Samuel apparently followed one of them. That's when she finally called police. Her son was treated at Children's Hospital. Samuel was locked up in lieu of a $15,000 bond. Now in this next story, it's actually a cop who's in big trouble. Oklahoma City police announced this week that one of their sergeants was arrested on complaints of domestic abuse and child abuse. Sergeant Christopher Gellenbeck turned himself in to the county jail. He's been with the Oklahoma City Police Department for 10 years. According to an arrest warrant, Gellenbeck was at a Target store on Sunday when he started yelling at his ex-wife in the parking lot. The 15-year-old son got between the two, and Gellenbeck allegedly choked the teenager. When his ex tried to call 911, Gellenbeck reportedly tried to wrestle the phone away from her before leaving. This was all apparently caught on the store's security cameras. And let me tell you, Target has an amazing surveillance camera system, so they are always going to catch you doing whatever it is you're doing in their store or their parking lot. Now, back in 2021, Gellenbeck was arrested for allegedly assaulting his wife. He was placed on administrative leave, and that case was pleaded down to disturbing the peace. For now, he's back on paid administrative leave with the department, and there's a protective order out against him. An 81-year-old man is under arrest in Tennessee after he admitted he tried to kill his own daughter. Floyd Allen CA apparently hit his daughter with his bare hands, then grabbed a large kitchen knife and stabbed her many times. First responders found the victim with several stab wounds to her chest, neck, and face. She was rushed to a hospital. The attack happened in front of a home in Nashville, and security cameras again captured parts of the attack on video. CA also reportedly handed the knife to one of those neighbors and said, "I tried to kill her, but I couldn't." During an interview with police, CA reportedly said that he did not regret his actions, and he'd do it again if he could. He's charged with 1 count of attempted criminal homicide. 2 parents in California are charged with killing their baby daughter after she died from a fentanyl overdose. 18-month-old Winter Rayo was found dead on a bed last August. Derek Rayo called 911 saying the baby was unconscious and not breathing. He said he didn't know what happened and that it was just him and the child's mother, Kelly Richardson, in the home at the time. And the story, it only gets worse from there. It turns out that 911 call was made around 12 hours after the baby actually died. The couple says they were in denial and wanted a chance to grieve before the police came. A blood toxicology report found that the child had a blood fentanyl concentration of 74 nanograms per milliliter. The lethal dose would be just 3 nanograms. When they searched the home, police found drugs and drug paraphernalia all over the place. The couple will enter pleas in court in January. And finally, an apparent leader in the MS-13 gang will spend the rest of his life in prison for killing a 16-year-old fellow gang member. 32-year-old Melvi Amador Rios was convicted of killing 16-year-old Julio Vasquez in 2017 after Vasquez refused to kill someone. It was also believed that Vasquez was hanging out with members of a rival gang, which broke MS-13 rules. A birdwatcher found Vasquez's body in a wooded area of Alley Pond Park in Queens, New York. Amador Rios was also sentenced to 80 years in prison for 4 robberies, 40 years in prison for ordering another shooting, and 38 years in prison on firearms charges. And that's your crime fix for this Wednesday, November 29th, 2023. I'm Angenette Levy. I'll see you tomorrow.